It's Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz along with Michelle Grinnell. And Michelle, we're heading up north.
We are headed up north, and we are headed onto the water. We are talking with Cindy Ruzak, who is the event chair for the Maritime Heritage Alliance Schooner Fest, happening in Traverse City, September 19th through the 21st. This event is a great one, but let's kind of set the stage for Traverse City and tall ships and the water and kind of the backdrop that folks are going to see when they get there.
Basically, the festival started, 25 some years ago as more of just an outing of some of the tall ships and the boats in the area, and it got to be a tradition of celebrating the maritime history of the region. And it's developed, this is the third festival that has been done. The last one was 3 years ago, and we're hoping to develop this into a biannual event very consistently. It is what I call a multi-venue, community-wide celebration of northern Michigan maritime history, involving the schooners, involving the Coast Guard, everything that has to do with the maritime traditions of the area. Canoeing, everything. This area is just abundant with water-type sports, water activities, a lot of involvement by groups that are concerned with water quality, like the Watershed Center, which is a partner in the Schooner Festival as well. So truly a collaboration of events, and the main event is this Schooner Festival with deck tours that will take place on Friday the 19th through Sunday the 21st. We also have some really amazing foodie events. We have some historical presentations by authors and historians locally and from afar. And we have one major, really big event called Storm, which is absolutely an amazing presentation. It's a multimedia presentation with Dan Hall and Rick Mixter, who are well-known nautical musicians, and they show video and interviews and shipwrecks and stories, and they do this all to live music. And that is going to be Saturday, the 20th of September at the State Theater in Traverse City.
Oh, so it's indoors, this Storm presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's live music with video at the same time.
Correct.
Interesting. And will it literally be about the storms on the Great Lakes? Is that what it's kind of centered on?
Yeah, the storms and the shipwrecks that involve them, that were involved in them. And it's, maybe a little more shipwreck-oriented, but the two kind of go together. And the nice thing is it will be, as you say, indoors, and we promise there won't be any rain inside the State Theater.
Well, the event is called the Schooner Fest. How do you define a schooner? I'm sure it means something that I'm not aware of.
Well, and honestly, this is one of those should direct this question to a specific nautical person like my husband. But basically, a schooner has more than one mast. And it does get into a variety of different definitions. It can have 3 masts. And they have a whole bunch of definitions of how the masts are located, the smaller one in a certain position from where the main one is. And they have terminology for every sail, sometimes 20 plus, that go on here. And I will admit that I am the event organizer and not the historian. But that is the gist of it.
Yeah,
these are pretty large ships.
Yeah, so for the layman, we'll just call them tall ships, and we'll be safe.
There we go. Tall ship works.
Yeah, tall ships work.
How many tall ships will you have at the festival?
There will be 6 of them and 5 for the entire time. We have one that's kind of there and then going on a different trip. But 2 of them are coming from out of town, so to speak. That is the Dennis Sullivan from Milwaukee, for all the Wisconsin fans, and they are even offering a trip where you can get on the Dennis Sullivan in Wisconsin, come to Traverse City for vacation, do the Schooner Festival, and then go back. The Friends Goodwill is from South Haven, and they are connected with the Maritime Museum there. And then we have the local ships. We have the Inland Seas, which is a school program in Sutton's Bay that does amazing work with that. We have the Champion with MHA, which does a program that's called the Sail Champion Program that takes at-risk youth out on the water and really teaches some of the great lessons that you can learn in sailing and confidence that they can really be in charge of their own lives. And you have the Madeline, of course, which is the flagship of the Maritime Heritage Alliance. This is a boat that goes to a lot of other schooner festivals as well, some of them most recently last summer in Chicago with the Tall Ship Festival there. And then we also have the Manitou, and the Manitou is the workhorse of the Grand Traverse region because that is the one that they go out on 3 sails a day during the busy season until Labor Day, and then they also do 4-day cruises in the fall and take people on board during those as well. So
I've been on the Manitou several times. They even let me behind the wheel.
That's a scary thought.
Which is scary. Yes.
It shows you how simple it is, and when you come to Schooner Festival, for all those who attend, all the boats will probably let somebody do that as well.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
It
I'm
is.
not very good at parallel parking, by the way.
No.
So the you mentioned historical events. What type of events are going to be happening?
Mm-hmm. We have a real range. It's amazing how this collaboration has come through. There's a gentleman, a professor from Loyola University by the name of Ted Karamansky, and Ted is coming to this festival. He has written several books on the history of northern Michigan about timbering, as I would call it, or lumbering, and but mostly he has a book, Schooner Passage, about the great tall ships on the Great Lakes. We also have some local people, Ross Richardson, who has been involved in a lot of shipwreck discoveries and historical. We have people like Rich Brower, who is a filmmaker here, and he has done movies. So we have showing of one of his movies, The Lost Treasure of Sawtooth Island, and we're pairing that with a number of other people like Tom Paulson from Interlochen Public Radio is going to talk about nautical nautical classical music. And then we have, after him, is the Ted Karamansky. We also have someone talking about tall ships in the movies, where you can see this is the boat that was featured in this movie, and what kind of boat is it? They have, as I say, the terms that Cindy is not that well at just tossing out of barks and all these other things, but there is someone who's going to talk about that. We have other local historians talk about the starting of the Inland Seas program. The founder, Tom Kelly, is going to be there. We have people from Maritime Heritage Alliance talking about Maritime Heritage Alliance, which is in its 25th year.
So suffices to say that there'll be a lot of those fun activities and food, and you mentioned the storm show, and of course all those beautiful ships to see. So
yeah, we even have the local college, Northwestern Michigan College has a class that it's a read a book, and it is a nautical theme, and then go out on one of the tall ships.
That sounds like great.
Really trying to involve people, and the foodie events are going to be amazing. We really wanted this not to be an all-inclusive, defined type event. We wanted people to get out into the community and collaborate with all the restaurants we have in the area, because I'm sure, as all your listeners know, the Traverse City area has really become a foodie destination.
It really has been.
Yeah.
So you can kind of blend it all together during this big Schooner Fest coming up September 19th through the 21st, and it's going to be a good time. Always is in Traverse City. And for more information, you can go to this website, Maritime Heritage Alliance. .org. And we'd like to thank Cindy Ruzak, event chair of the Michigan Schooner Festival, for filling us in. She's also from the Gray Hair Inn, so you might want to check that place out while you head up to the peninsula as well. Of course, there are so many things happening at this time of the year. Michigan.org is a great resource for finding all that information. One thing you might want to do right now is order your copy of the official Fall Travel Guide, which is out at the Welcome Centers right now. But if you want to pick up your free Fall Travel Guide, you can do that. All you have to do is go to Michigan.org. By now, we should be posting that on the website. Just look for the magazine information and then order your guide. We'll get it to you as soon as we can, and then you'll be prepared to travel all throughout the state of Michigan, the beautiful state of Michigan, at, I think, the most beautiful time of the year in autumn. We're going to find out what's happening with Michigan trails next here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.